Hey buddies, how you guys doing? More caffeine, more caffeine. Alright, so again, coming back from my fucking August break. We went to like the Orange County Fair in July. I'm posting these videos in September, but you know, fuck it, whatever. Yeah, this video will be a combination of sharing, you know, what I saw at the Orange County Fair, but it's also gonna be a combination of like the cool stuff we saw or they did with this camera, right? I'm still learning how to use this guy. Yesterday was definitely a learning experience with this thing, right? So I decided to film at 2K, 60 frames per second, mainly because I noticed that when I render videos out at 1080p, there is some form of like compression that I notice when I upload videos at that resolution, right? At 1080p. When I film in 2K and I upload the videos, I notice that like usually when you play back the video at 1080p, even though like the upload is at 2K, like the 1080p tends to look better, right? So I'm filming in 2K. I'm gonna render out in 2K, but if you wanted to watch the video in 1080p for whatever reason, then cool, it's a lot cleaner. It's more pleasant to look at it, less compression, I noticed, right? And then you have the option to watch it in 2K and stuff like that. So yeah, that's gonna be my thing, right? So I went to film yesterday afternoon. We actually went to like a monster truck show and like I started to film and so on and so forth. And I learned a few things with this guy. Filming fast activity stuff with this camera can be kind of challenging, right? When I first got this camera, I was having issues with the SD card, mainly because the read and write speeds on my old cards was not as fast, right? So I got an extreme version of it. It's a SanDisk Extreme Pro, 256 gigabyte. So yeah, you definitely gotta invest in like a faster SD card for your camera, right? For this guy, or else you're gonna have issues, right? Because it's pretty frustrating when like I'm filming and then it's all like, oh, slow read and write speed, and then your camera freezes, right? That's one thing. Another thing is that basically the zoom on this camera is okay. It's not the best, right? Obviously, you know, there are limitations. I think for the most part, this camera is definitely designed to be handheld, right? Like this, obviously, right? So when I tried to zoom in, I was filming a monster truck show with a girlfriend, and then like I tried to zoom in. It doesn't go as far, right? Not as far as say like my girlfriend's camera was able to, right? She was able to zoom in, I guess digitally, you know, it's not a physical zoom in, is that more like a digital thing? So it didn't look as good, right? So this guy was able to zoom in, but not that much, right? Which is fine. I wasn't expecting this to have a good zoom anyways, because like that's not how this thing is intended to be used, right? But the thing I noticed is that like as I was like following the monster trucks around, like the lens, the camera, you know, as it's moving, right? Say like I'm twisting the handheld part, and you can see how like the camera stays still, right? So when I was like going like this, doing extreme pan, I was trying to follow like the monster trucks, like the camera would actually kind of like try to get centered, right? And like I was like couldn't be able to keep up. I was trying to compensate with like the joystick, and yeah, after a while like the camera positioning will get kind of odd, so I had to like turn off like the camera and then like restart it again. That way it can reset itself, right? So I had to do that a few times. Now there are settings where you're able to adjust the way how the gimbal works, so it can not do that. But that is something I guess I learned, is that, you know, if you want to film some kind of like fast action events and you're at a distance, this thing's not designed for that, right? I was able to do it. I got some cool footage, but I mean, yeah, this thing's more designed to be up close and personal and film and this and that. We enjoyed the show. It was fun, you know, seeing the monster trucks, you know. As I'm talking, I'll be adding like footage, you know, what I saw. Going to like the county fair, as long as you pay for the ticket of the day, you are able to see this show for free. It's included. But you are able to pay for a separate ticket so you can have a guaranteed seat, because at a certain time there's a cutoff that they don't allow people in because it gets too full, right? So we got there early enough to get seating. We get the season pass for the Orange County Fair this year, so maybe we're gonna be going back a lot just to check out shows, you know, primarily. Now another thing I wanted to see was like what this camera looks like during the nighttime, you know, with all like the lights. And like as I go over the footage, I'm like looking at it. It actually looks pretty good. The thing I noticed is that like certain areas where like it's just too bright in the sense of crazy lights, anything that has to do with like black light or UV lights or stuff like that, it kind of like makes like a weird you get like weird compression going on in certain areas, right? Like there's too much information going on, and I guess like the camera's not able to keep up, right, when it's too bright. Now I have everything set to auto. That's my end, so I'm sure if I was to go into the more like I guess like the customizable options, I'm able to get a better results, but I don't want to do that. I want to be able to just like turn on the camera and go, right? So for the most part, like on auto, the settings are pretty good, I think, right? But yeah, I noticed like when it's like certain lights are too bright, it's just some areas are too dark, or certain dark areas that like you have like weird like high contrast colors, right? You get like a lot of like weird compression going on where like it's just like a solid color rather than you lose a lot of detail from whatever's being lit by that strong color, right? Whether it's like a strong purple, a strong red, or something like that. So I didn't notice that. So I don't know. I guess as I go, I'll learn more about how to use a camera to have better settings or whatever. Little things I learned about this camera. So yeah, but so far as I go through the footage, I really like the results. It was kind of nice. For the most part, every time we go to the OC fair, we usually go during the day, and we try to max out our time. But once it's like nighttime, we're obviously pretty tired, so we end up leaving. But now that we have the passes, we are able to like go and enjoy the afternoon when it's cooler. And like, yeah, it's actually kind of neat being able to like go and walk through like see the animals and see like I don't know, like the farm sections and this and that. At nighttime it's pretty neat. It's like a different experience, right? It's a lot more fun, right? The quality at nighttime with this camera is great. So I'm super happy with this thing. This camera definitely has its limitations, obviously, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Some cool things about this camera is that you're able to like reach out and film certain things and be able to like get cool shots, right? And I was filming like a pig that just recently gave birth. I was like at a certain angle like this, and I was able to like film in a downward angle, right? Now, the bad thing about that is obviously I cannot see the screen, but if I wanted to, I can use my phone app. So I can use my DJI phone app, as I'm like pointing down the camera, I can see whatever I'm filming through my phone, right? So that way I can like, adjust the camera as needed. So, you're able to do some cool stuff, right? With this camera. So yeah, it's fun. I got no problems with it. Even there's limitations, but me being me, I like to work with the limitations and then make the most of them, right? But so far, the limitations on this thing is very little. Anyways, that's all I got to say. I'm very happy with this guy. Super happy with it. I'm excited to see what else I can come up with. There's definitely more to check out. And so far, I really like this camera. And if you're the type that you're on the fence about buying this thing, I think it's a worthy investment, right? Definitely. It's definitely a good investment for yourself, whether you're a professional or a hobbyist. This shit's it's fun. It's a lot of fun to use, right? All right, guys, that's all I have to say. Talk to you guys later. Peace.